and welcome back to the Weird and Proud podcast. I'm your host, Sam.
James.
And James. We're a little rusty, but normally I think that was my bad. But hello and welcome back. We are now season 2.
You're bad.
We were
how?
renewed for a new season. What?
You're bad. How you said my bad?
Oh, I forgot the and. I said Sam and.
Oh,
no.
We don't. We're good.
Yeah. I want to make sure. Hopefully, you guys have noticed we got new backdrop, we got new camera set up, we got the new mic set up, and so we're like looking very professional and ready to kick it off. Obviously, if you want to listen as a podcast, we are still going to be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But we want to make sure that you guys also have a visual. We want to make sure you can watch it too and make it like a premium viewing experience. So it'll also be on YouTube every Monday, hopefully early morning. We're going to try and shoot for like 8 a.m., maybe even earlier. I might try and shoot for like 6 a.m. so that you guys have it for like if you need a Monday morning commute, need to get ready in the morning on Monday, you can have it available. What do you think, James?
I better get my morning talk ready.
Yeah, you better give some inspiration.
Oh, for sure. I'm inspired to give inspiration.
What would you have to say to someone who needs to get out of bed this Monday morning?
Get out of bed!
Oh my God.
What is that? Was that what you were looking for?
Yes, that was perfect. So we have a great show for you today. One of our favorite segments, The Secrets. We have some great secrets for you guys today.
Oh, thank God.
I'm going to go over to some common questions, some Ask James common questions that I get just to kind of, get a little more like insight on James. Like, who is James? Everyone wants to know. James, how are you?
I'm great.
You are?
Absolutely.
A lot of people are always asking, like, what do you do? Some people assume that like your job is just to like be in the videos, kind of like the James manager, the manager, the Chris, like the momager, the mom manager. You'd explain that like you do have a job because everyone always asks what you do during the day. Like, what does James do all day?
I mean, I am in videos.
Yes.
I do digital marketing. Yep. I market things and help people make money on websites.
We've done an episode before. Like if you've listened to some of the other episodes from our previous season, which obviously don't have to watch them or listen to them to have any idea what's going on.
I have no idea how they would keep caught up without listening to the first
season. I know you would be so behind
and
so lost.
I wouldn't want to subject you to that.
Yeah, but we did like a Q&A of like, most common questions like Ask James. And I feel like there's some good refreshing ones. And I feel like it is good to kind of give, for those who haven't listened to know like a little bit more about you, James. The people want to know about James. James, tell us like where you're from again. I know I talk about this sometimes, but
I am from Wisconsin.
Yes.
I would say where in Wisconsin, but I do recall when we first started dating, I think I asked you to pick out Wisconsin on a map, and there may have been a struggle.
I don't think I could pick Wisconsin on a map today.
It's okay. But yes, I am from a small town in northern Wisconsin, and it's that typical you can take the kid out of Wisconsin, but you can't take the Wisconsin out of the kid situation. I love where we are now. I love going to Maine. I love all our travels, but I love my home state.
Yeah. Wisconsin, I've opened my heart to Wisconsin.
And you have done a great job with it.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, I don't even think we haven't been there in the winter time, but we went there and visited this summer.
Yep.
And, there was a moment where I was like, okay. And it was at his family's lake and it was gorgeous. Or, it was like, they have this huge property in like northern middle of nowhere, Wisconsin.
Very much middle of nowhere.
And I was like, okay, this is relaxing. I mean, at some point it's like, all right, that's enough. But I could get it. But that's why I think too, he does have this manner about him? He's just from Wisconsin. Like, that's a popular question. And then another one too that I thought I feel like we've told the story too a million times, but I thought that this would be a good way too, is the first episode of the season is our story about how we met.
The how we met story. Every couple has their how we met story.
Of course. Well, then they would have never met if they don't have a how you met story.
That's such a good point.
How would they have met without a how you met story?
Such a good point.
So, long story short, because we do have like a whole episode on it, but we did meet 2013 when James was still living in Wisconsin at the time. And most of you guys know too, at this point, I'm from Maine. I was living in Maine at the time, and we met in line waiting to get into a Tony Robbins conference in 2013. Woo! Unleash the power within. And one of those things where it was like a long weekend conference. There's like 5,000 people that go to these conferences.
Yep. There's 5,000 or 6,000 people there.
We were waiting to get in line on the first day. I was with my mom at the time. James had friends that were in the conference, but wasn't like,
they were like volunteering.
Yeah. So he was just like in line by himself. So we just started chatting and didn't think much of it. But then we ended up sitting near each other
during every day.
Yeah, we ended up, which is like kind of weird. We're like, oh, that's funny. You're like right near us. And we were there for a whole weekend. So we every day would see each other, totally would make conversation. We, had hit it off in a way, had kind of bonded over, obviously, if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins event, they are very...
It's easy to open up with people because you're just opening up the whole time.
Yeah. Right. It's very vulnerable. Everyone's crying and it's all these breakthroughs. So it's already like kind of an emotional weekend. And so it was really cool. And it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, he's from Wisconsin. I'm in Maine. Like, what do you, let's be real here. But James likes to say, how did you win me over?
Oh, you want the broccoli story?
The broccoli. He won me over with broccoli.
And avocado dip.
Yeah. Well, one of the things with the Tony Robbins conferences is like, which is like kind of weird when you look back, it's like, okay, but you really like didn't have time to eat.
Nope.
And it was like these conferences started at like 7, 8 in the morning.
I would be in line at like 7 every morning.
Yeah.
To make sure I get close.
Yeah. Yep. And then you were there till like some nights midnight.
You're there forever.
Yeah. And they didn't like have food stands there. I remember there was like one thing for soup and like juices. And they were expensive. It was like $15 for like a cup of soup.
I went to, there was a Walmart.
Yep.
A Walmart grocery store not far down the street. And I had it planned where I could walk from my hotel and I would just go to the Walmart before and get food for the day. And yes. I had a backpack with a little cooler in it. So I just had stuff to munch on all day.
Yeah. And
I think she knows I always have food around.
Yes. That is one thing that has always stayed the same. But yeah, he had food. And I mean, even at the time I'm like, oh my God, yeah, broccoli and avocado. But because you were so hungry, it was like, I mean, we were starving. So it was like, we didn't think far enough ahead to like get food. We were staying at a hotel. So James would have food and that broccoli and avocado. So delicious.
She let me dip my broccoli in her avocado, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And then by the end of the weekend, it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So before a long weekend. And we were going to leave to go to the airport. And James is like, hey.
I believe that's exactly how I said it. If you're watching the video, that's probably exactly what I did.
Well, actually, what really happened is, I can't remember actually what night it was. Maybe it wasn't that night, but one of the nights there was a fire walk. And I had actually talked about this in one of my stand-up. Yeah, maybe it was the first night. Yeah. But there was a fire walk where you have to walk on hot coals with your bare feet to like prove you're like breaking through your fears or whatever. You're unleashing your power. And me and my mom, I think me and my mom were literally the only ones like we looked at each other. It was like 11:30 at night, the first day. Been there since 6 a.m. And everyone was like, all right, we're going to the coals. Walk over the coals. And me and my mom were like, nah, I don't think so. And we were like, if we don't do this though, we can't tell anyone that we didn't do it, because that's like it's like kind of one of the big reasons that
It's one of
people
his
go.
big things. A lot of people, whether it's positive or negative, that's what a lot of people do normally.
Right. And that's why he's like known for them, is like these firewalks. And like you got these bracelets and everything. You're supposed to get like this like little bracelet to show that you walk through the fire. And and yeah, so we didn't end up going, but we did tell. I ended up telling James, maybe it wasn't the day we left, but I was like, yeah, me and my mom totally walked through the fire. I mean, I think that was you were the one who came up and was like,
Yep. I came and got your number.
because I know you'd asked me my Facebook friend.
At the time, that was the thing to do.
Yeah, right. And then yeah, maybe that was no, maybe you did get my number, because then you texted me.
I texted you before you walked out the door.
Yeah. Do you remember what you texted me?
Nope.
Me either. I wonder if I could go back and like look.
The FBI can find it. It's digital.
I know. I always like, some people have done that where like they look at like the first Facebook messages they've ever sent to each other. Like, I feel like that would be funny. I actually should go back and look and see what
you know what I'm
first
certain I have?
What?
I have a voicemail you left for me on one of my old phones from Maine.
Yeah.
Like you left me a voicemail. I was probably working in Wisconsin. Yeah, I have one of those saved from 2000. I think it was still 2000. No, that was
2014. Yeah. And really from there, I mean, it took a while though. So we had met, that was November 2013. And then it was months of like texting randomly. Obviously, we'd Facebook message, email. And then over the winter, I think it was like,
It was
right?
super sporadic though.
Yeah.
It could be like a couple days in a row, and then it'd be weeks or a month, and we wouldn't tell you.
Yeah. And then we finally did a Zoom, which like FaceTime wasn't a thing yet. Us oldies. And we would Zoom and do like these Zoom dinner dates where like we'd both like get our dinners, make dinner, and like chat over and play games. I remember we played some games.
I think I came to visit you first, and then the Zoom started.
Maybe, yeah. I think we Zoomed though a couple times before you visit. Maybe, I don't know, but there was a lot of Zooms after too.
After we met, after I came to visit, there was a lot of Zooms.
Yeah. So then he didn't even come to visit for the first time until May 2014. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct. Oh,
so
wait.
Yeah.
No, it was April.
Oh, April.
Last weekend, like
April 25th.
Yeah.
May was Boston.
May was
yeah.
Boston.
So the first time he came to visit was in April in Maine. And I remember too, I was like, he should get a hotel room to be a good person. And he was like, yeah, like I got a hotel room. And then of
never
course
said I had a hotel room.
Yeah, you did.
I never lied. I did not lie about that. I said I can get one when I get there and figure out where I'm close to.
Yeah, but he didn't get a hotel.
Didn't end up.
But yeah, thank God you didn't you weren't like a murderer underneath.
Most people, me being from Wisconsin, do think I'm a murderer.
Right, exactly. So yeah, and then kind of the rest is history. Did the long distance for a while, and then I had to move to Stanford for a corporate job. And not long after that, he came and moved down. And yeah, I can't remember when you officially moved to Stanford. Do you remember when that was? 2016, maybe? Officially?
I think it was 15.
Yeah. Like
I do think it was 2015. Yeah.
I know. I'd have to look at that. But
I think it was August or September.
Yeah, I felt like it was the fall.
Summer or fall.
Yeah.
Early fall.
So that's kind of our story. And it is crazy because, you think about, like, we were just watching a movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it's like how like little changes. Like I was so close to not going to that Tony Robbins conference. And my mom talked me into it. And, it's just, or like if we had gotten there 5 minutes later and weren't in line, like we had people between us. So, it's like, correct.
Great movie though. Good connection.
Oh yeah, right. I know. When you have those movies or TV shows that you just think about and like will make you like, that's one of those movies that I'll be like, I won't be able to forget, you know? That'll
Yeah.
remind me of a lot of things.
It, pun intended, it connects kind of everything together.
Sure does. Everything
Spoiler
everywhere.
alert if you haven't seen it.
Yes. Yes. Great, great movie. I had a personal question for you. Something that I've wanted to ask.
Oh boy.
Who do you think killed John Benet Ramsey?
The little girl?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
I wasn't there, but
But you were older.
I was definitely older. I what do I
Do
actually
you remember
remember
much
from
about
that
it?
time? Not a whole lot.
I've been going on this down this rabbit hole, and I was going to talk to you about it earlier today, but I was like, no, I'll save it when we talk about the podcast. If you haven't like done research on, I mean, I'm sure like everyone has. I feel like I've been living under a rock, but I just did like this whole.
Everybody thinks her parents killed her.
It 100% is. I'm in
There,
belief.
from what and it's not. I don't remember this, but from everything I've heard, it seems that there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that
Yes. Yeah.
her parents killed her.
Parents or her brother. That's like kind of,
And her
those are
parents
like the
covered it
two.
up.
Right. Yeah. But they were all like kind of involved in it. It's just that those are one of those cases too that's like, what is like, you know, will we ever know? And it is crazy that it's like been so long and they still don't know. Like, how is that possible? I feel like
Well, I don't think
with
they ever
DNA.
found a body or anything, right?
Yeah, they did.
They did that part. I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Fill me in.
I
Why
will
are
have
you
to,
down
yeah.
this I didn't even know you were down this rabbit hole.
I know.
When you said I'm going to ask you a question, I'm like,
Oh God.
what kind of questions do we have? What haven't we asked each other?
Well, I just started like doing this. I followed this account, which obviously, if you guys are on Instagram, I was just sharing to my stories today. This account, Jennifer C. It's like CEE for her last name. She does these deep dives on these like true crime type of things.
Very interesting.
And they actually recently, it had just become back in the news because something about how like they were like DNA has evolved so much that like something about either like the brother had finally come out and said that like we should do this DNA testing, or it was in the news in the last year. And so it kind of sparked this discussion about, you know, why haven't they tested the DNA again? And so a lot of people are doing like these deep dives on really what happened. And a lot of it is very much kind of gets a little kind of crazy kooky. But the idea is, yeah, that, I mean, the deepest, darkest conspiracy theory says that the parents were like involved in some sort of pedophilia ring. Trigger warning. Sorry. And there was a girl apparently who had come out like a year before and said that John Ramsey and one of his friends, Jeff White, had like sexually assaulted her and had tasered her with a taser thing, like one of those little shockers. And they would hit her on the top of the head because no one could see. She was young, so like she couldn't go to her parents and show that she was injured at all. And so she had come out and no one like that never got into the public. No one ever heard about that.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that has any chance of being?
Well, I think, I mean, you know, like there's no way that there was an outsider. I feel like, how would they have gotten into the house?
You mean killed? I mean
killed. Oh,
the girl that you just mentioned. Do you think that they had a pedophile ring and did stuff like
well,
that?
I don't know. I feel like the family was weird. Like they say that they had these gatherings and they, you know, again, there was some, it was kind of like rumors and gossip that they would have these parties and invite young girls over, and that they had, you know, this one woman who's like the Jane Doe had said that he had brought, you know, he would have these late night parties where these young girls would come like over their house and they would, you know, sexually assault these girls. And, you know, it's like, I don't know, why would that not be anywhere in the news? Kind of weird. So it's like, okay, is that real? Is that not? Who knows? But there is like all these case details. And then they also were showing that it's like where she was found, her body was found in the basement, right? Like in a part of the basement that she never would go to. And she was found with a blanket wrapped around her. And she was found with taser marks. And the blow to the head is like really what almost kind of killed her, was hit on the top of her head. And she was then like really, what really finally killed her was she was choked with a rope tied around one of the mom's paintbrushes. And then they wrote, whoever had done this had wrote this 3-page ransom note, and they wanted $118,000, which is exactly what John Ramsey had gotten for a Christmas bonus this year and had in cash already. And the handwriting is also almost identical to Patsy Ramsey, the mom. And when the mom apparently woke up at 5:50 the morning of when her daughter was killed, she went to the bottom of the stairs and found the ransom note on the bottom of the stairs.
So how were these parents not arrested for this?
Exactly.
I haven't studied it enough, obviously.
I know. But those are just like kind of the big pieces where it's like, and then also,
for some reason I thought her body was missing.
No,
That's
well, that's what it was saying. So the note at the bottom of the stairs said, "We have your daughter. You better give us $118,000 or we're going to kill her." And so they're like freaking out, trying to get the money. And then all these rumors said the police were like, all right, well, we need to do a search of this entire house, top to bottom, like nothing left unturned. And then all of a sudden the dad was like, oh, let me go look in the basement. And then goes to the basement and is like, oh, I found her. Right. And carries her upstairs. It's like, oh my God, she was in the basement. It's like, how did you know she was there? And she had been sexually assaulted. So it's like, would the brother have killed her and sexually assaulted his sister? And then the parents were like, oh, we got to cover it up.
So there's a lot of commonalities to this story.
Right.
That was told on, and I'm so sorry, what was the name of the Instagram account? Jenny C?
Yeah, Jennifer C.
Jennifer C, who dives deep, finds out about these things, finds a girl who said that basically some of these same things happen. There's a taser, there's a boop on the head, and then there's the story of, we can't find her body. Oh, let me go check in the basement.
Right.
Oh my God, I
crazy.
found it.
Before we're going to.
And she's wrapped in a blanket. Which, if you watch Criminal Minds, if they're murdered,
they feel bad.
They have remorse.
And it was a blanket out of the laundry, which was right in that basement.
Laundry or laundry machine?
Laundry machine.
Which one? That's important.
Laundry machine.
You should know these details.
I know.
You'll never solve it without that.
So that was just something that's just been on my mind that I really am just like, wow. I'm like, how was nothing ever? No one was ever arrested.
You're so strong for having kept this in and not told me yet.
I literally have been like wanting to have someone to talk to about, and like I just am flabbergasted that I didn't know more about this. And it's crazy. Yeah, again, that it still hasn't been solved. Like they go back and solve murders and stuff all the time, and this was like one of the most high profile cases ever. And apparently like everyone's like, well, the dad and the mom were like, looked super upset, and they said test the DNA and do whatever you want, you can test it. And it's like, because they know obviously their DNA is going to be on everything because they're the parents. So like obviously the DNA is going to be on the daughter, on the paintbrushes, because they were hers. So like, very interesting.
They need
Spooky
a murder
stuff.
weapon.
Right. And that's what they don't know because it's like.
So if you were going to pick a crime show, you can pick a fake one too to solve it. Which one would you
Mary
pick?
Kay and Ashley Olsen will solve any crime by dinner time. Did you ever watch that?
All the time.
No, you didn't.
Never once.
Okay. Well, you're missing out on life. Anyway, so just a little something I wanted to bring to your attention, and a nice little deep dive rabbit hole if you need something to do. If you want to waste 5 hours of your day.
Don't you want to know? The people might want to know what show I think could solve it.
What?
Bones.
Oh,
do you know why?
Show. Why?
She was struck on the head.
Okay.
And Bones and her team of super nerds, along with Science Dog, would be able to figure out what the murder weapon was that hit her in the skull. And then they could trace the murder weapon back.
I know. They need to find the murder weapon, but it's like...
And if the murder weapon only has the parents' DNA on it and not someone else's, now we've got something.
Bring
it to Bones.
Yeah, or
And if you haven't seen Bones, I suggest.
yeah,
And you like
we love a
old
good show.
crime shows,
Yeah.
Bones is good.
Okay, and then last question for the people. This is for the people. How do you feel about pegging?
What do you mean by that?
So I told the people today that unfortunately you have never been pegged unless
Oh,
you've
good. So
done
I can
something.
reveal that
Yeah,
that's not
that it
actually
is
a
a joke.
thing.
And I did tell unfortunately, I had to let them down because like obviously I joke about it because I think it's amazing. But some people really do think that I peg you every
Why do
night.
you think it's amazing?
So
Is it
that's
a
a great
power and
question.
control thing?
Well, first of all, I had heard about this after doing the secrets one round on my Instagram. Someone had said my boyfriend asked me, to peg him. And I was like, what is that? First of all, love the word pegging. There's something about the word pegging that just is also kind of hilarious. But so when I looked it up, it was like something I never heard of. And I was like, that is the best thing I've ever heard. I love the idea of it. And like, I would love to watch someone get pegged because I think it would be just like interesting to watch. Because I think it's like a fish out of water, it's like change of the dynamics completely. And I love the idea of it, but I don't think I actually have the strength and the gusto to do it because I feel like I would just think it's way too funny. Like if I had a strap on wiener on,
Yeah, you'd be laughing the whole time.
yeah, I
You
would be
would
doing the
not be able to control yourself.
helicopter. I
You
would
wouldn't be able
be
to
trying to
control
hit
yourself.
people with it, smack you in the face. I'd be just going around smacking people with my wiener.
How many people do you picture yourself being around when you're
Lots.
wearing? I can tell.
I would just go out in public with it on.
I get
What could they do?
probably a lot.
What do you mean? Do you
I
think
don't
I could
know.
get in trouble for
Well,
wearing
I
it
don't
in
know.
public? It's not real.
Mm, I think that there's like probably some protection of children's innocence.
Well, I would try not to be around
Lines
the
you're
children.
lines you might be crossing there. Just
It
throwing
would be
that out.
kind of interesting to know what it's like to just like have a wiener. I might get one just to walk around with it, just to see how it feels.
I don't want to know where this is going to go. People are going to send you things now, and then this joke is going to keep going. Oh, yeah, it's
James. No, it will never keep going. This is where it ends, right here. This is
Yeah,
the
boy.
last. This is the last comment I make about pegging. This pegging
Today?
last. No,
Doubtful.
today. Yeah,
There's
for
no
the next
way you'll
hour
go.
at least.
I was just going to say.
Yeah.
You won't even make it to the end of the podcast.
No, probably not.
And that's okay.
Actually, one other thing that I was thinking about today that I've been dying to ask you. Are you upset that you were circumcised?
I didn't really have a choice.
Right. Do you look back on it and say, what the fuck? Why didn't you ask me?
I think that people that tend to use brain power to dwell on such things, I think a good way to think about something like that is put yourself in the shoes of the people that were making those choices about society at that time.
Okay.
And if you want to make some big shifts in society because of that, more power to you. I'd love to hear about it. I'm not going to dwell on it, and nor is that my way to go to help to make changes in that space.
But
now we're getting real deep in how my brain works.
Like,
No.
like, are you like happy that it is?
If I was or wasn't, no, I don't care.
Okay. I just feel like if I was, if I got like my cooter chopped off, like, or just part of it, I'd be like, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's just something like it is like such a random thing, but just like everyone does it. And it is like one of those things I also think about a lot. And I'm like, you guys are just walking around with the end of your wiener chopped off.
Did you ever look at the background as to religiously
Yeah.
why they did it?
Yeah.
I
A
mean,
religious thing, but you're not Jewish. Isn't that isn't it more
well,
Jewish?
it was Old Testament. I think it's a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit of
yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
for the, wow, shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna, in a way, I'm not really religious at all. I believe in all of them because everyone has their own belief structure.
Yes.
People can choose what they want to do. And
Yeah.
when I say that, in very broad terms, Christians and people of the Jewish faith share the same Old Testament. It's the same, basically. It's not the same. If someone can yell at me for it, whatever. But there's a lot of old, and why would I consume my brain with it? I love discussing it on a podcast, but no, it doesn't bother me. Why would I waste my time?
I just wonder that, I'm like, ugh. But again, they also for hygiene.
There's more important things to think about, like the cool new green comet that's around.
The cool new green comet that's around.
Are you familiar?
Boy. No, but it sounds.
Oh, Science Dog and I are very excited. And if you're watching on YouTube, Prue has decided to join the podcast.
Yeah. Yes, Prue came in. I know I didn't run into her, but she's been so cute. She's sleepies.
But Science Dog and I believe that it'll be I haven't looked and see where you can see it from Connecticut, but it's going to be end of January with probably some high-powered binoculars, for sure, even small-power telescope. I believe it is green. I have to look up the color, but there's a rare green comet that is 50,000, that only comes to Earth about every 50,000 years. I would rather use my brain power on this than worrying about whether I got snipped or not. Yeah.
Check it out. Really cool.
Yeah, we're gonna totally see it.
Oh my god, we're totally gonna see it.
Oh, you can't wait! I'm so glad you're excited.
Yeah. That'll be like an oh Sam, we're gonna go watch the comet. Actually, I would go watch a comet with you, James.
I know you
would. All right. Well, I think that's a good catch up. I feel like you guys are caught up now. I feel like you.
As long as they know about
everything
the comet.
you need to know now.
Yep.
So why don't we get into some secrets? One of our favorite segments. We try and do this every podcast at least.
I love secrets.
Which we have, by the way, a couple ways for you to send in your own secrets. If you have a weird story, something weird you do, you've talked to an alien, you know about who killed John Benet Ramsey,
definitely.
Yes.
The John Benet Ramsey thing.
Was
Was it an alien that killed John Benet?
I know. Well, some say she's not dead and she's actually Katy Perry. Because Katy Perry kind of looks like John Benet.
I'm in that school now. I'm on that page. Nope, I'm right there.
So yeah, some say she doesn't exist at all. Some say we're all a little John Benet Ramsey. Some say there's a little John Benet Ramsey in all of
Does
us.
that mean we're all Katy Perry?
Yes.
What's Tay going to think about that?
What'd you say?
What's Tay going to think about that?
Well, Taylor and Katy got over their feud.
Did they?
Did you hear? Yeah, James, come on.
Well, that's just going to ruin a bunch of headlines.
No, now they're friends. It's all good.
Are they going to tour together?
No.
I wonder what that would do to Ticketmaster.
Oh, I don't even know what Katy Perry's up to these days. Who knows? Doing John Benet Ramsey things.
Does she do American Idol still?
I have no idea.
Was I right on that? Did she do American Idol at one time?
Yes.
I know stuff.
You were a pulp culture king.
Nailed it.
All right. Let's get into... we didn't even get...
I already talked about the green comet. You're fine.
No. No, you can submit your own secrets a couple ways, is what I was going to say. You can submit it via...
Speak pipe!
Oh, you woke up
Prue doesn't like it when I do that.
So it's speakpipe.com/weirdandproudpod. That is a link where you can anonymously send us voicemails. So kind of fun if you want to tell us a little story. Or if you want to write in, weirdandproudpod@gmail.com is the email. And you can send us, obviously, just say you want to be anonymous in the email. I mean, not that I'm going to read your email, but your email address. But, we will always keep it anonymous.
Yeah, please don't stop it. I'm not going to read your email. Of course you're going to read their
I'm going to read the email. I'm not going to read your email address.
Can I say something about our friends at SpeakPipe?
Yeah, what about them?
I didn't do it just to scream their name. They only let you leave a message for how long?
Oh, for a minute. So yeah, keep it
feel
concise.
Free, or the opposite, feel free to tell your whole story and leave multiple messages in a row. I've loved it when people do that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get too crazy. Not like 10 parts here, but
don't listen to her.
But if
there's
it's
no
worth
rules.
the second part.
There's no actual rules to this. You can't be penalized.
There's never any rules.
There's no DNA testing on how many.
Look how cute Prue is. Can you tell her how cute and beautiful she is? Kelly, she's so perfect. Okay, James, are you ready for our first secret voicemail?
I went on a date. I got really drunk. We went back to hers. And we had sex. woke up around like 4 in the morning and she wasn't in her bed. So I went to the bathroom and I was like, okay, what do? I text her and said, is everything okay? Because you're not in your bed. She lived in a flat with 5 other people, and the other rooms off of the hall were bedrooms and kitchen. And I can't go into one of her flatmates' rooms, so what I did was I collected my stuff from her room. I locked myself in the bathroom, climbed out a window, and booked an Uber. However, the Uber was an Uber XL, and it reversed down the street while beeping, and I never heard from her again.
Love the accent. Where are you from?
That's Ireland.
Ireland?
Do that again.
Ireland.
Okay, let's see who does a better Irish accent.
Ireland. Go.
I'm totally going to win this
Go.
one. Oh, the potato. It's a wonderful
Oh,
thing.
the potatoes.
That's Ireland.
Yeah, but that's
She's
also
from
very
Ireland.
Minnesotan.
It's probably a little Irish, Minnesota Irish.
Yeah. Oh.
But again, I'm from
so
Wisconsin, so whatever.
So I kind of missed like the little bit of the end, but something about the Uber XL was like beeping going down the road. So you never found out what happened? She just left you there? Right?
Yeah, it sounds like to me that she literally got, rather than by being ghosted by texting, the person just ghosted.
What if she
like
died?
an in-person
What if
ghost?
it was a John Benet Ramsey case?
What if she's just, so it's an actual, what if it is a ghost?
A ghost.
Not ghosted like stop
ghost?
texting, but an Irish ghost story. There's a lot of ghosts in Ireland. And this might not be in Ireland, but we both love the accent. And we both love Ireland. So.
Wow. Spooky stuff. A lot of spooky stuff this episode. You never know where it's going to take us.
That was a great story because that is like, if you are looking for a one-night stand, it's kind of the ultimate story. There are no strings attached after that.
Yeah, but it's in your own house. Like she could have stole something or like, I mean, obviously it's good for you, but like for the other person,
well, good, she's a good person. She didn't steal something.
Yeah. Well, I would have. But all right, let's get into our next secret. Are you ready, James?
Ready.
Okay, so I work at a large state building, and the bathroom is a mile away from my desk. And one week, whenever I was trying to stay hydrated, and drink my water like a good girl, I realized way too late I had to go to the bathroom. So I faced the ultimatum: run to the bathroom and pee your pants, or find a cup and go in your office. And I went in my office. And then it became an awkward walk to the bathroom, which ended in 2 full conversations with employees, other coworker employees, where I had to pretend like I didn't have a cup of piss sitting in my hand.
That is an amazing story. And I applaud you.
That's quite a predicament you got yourself in there.
Predicament. Have you ever had to pee into something?
Yes.
That wasn't.
I'm a guy.
Yeah,
it's different for us.
Yeah, I know. It's very tricky for a female.
One of the times when I was driving across the country to visit you, I peed in a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, that tracks. Is that the weirdest thing you've peed in? Where's the weirdest place you've peed? Or like the weirdest thing you've peed in?
Probably in the locker room, in the shower during basketball, peed on one of my buddy's legs.
That's disgusting.
That's weirder than
yeah,
that's probably weirder than the Gatorade bottle, right?
Yeah, that's disgusting. You peed on your friend.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Is it like a kinky thing? That's like what people are into, some of that stuff.
I mean, sometimes you got to do it because of jellyfish. Sometimes you got to do it because it's a basketball locker room, and that's what you do.
That's just what you do? Just pee on your friends?
Yeah, of course.
Good to know. Good to know, everybody. James pees on his friends. Spread the rumor.
But that was a great story. That was a great
That
secret.
was a great story. I haven't had to do that.
That's the right choice.
But it is the right choice. Sometimes the thing that I have done that I've been really proud of myself. Actually, this happened once when I was driving to the farm one morning, and I had to just take a poopy. take a poop, and the farm doesn't have bathrooms there. So I was like, oh my God, even when I get there, I'm not gonna be able to go to the bathroom. And it's like out in the middle of nowhere. Like there's no convenience, no gas
There's nothing close to
stations.
that.
So I just pulled over on the side of the road and I shit on the side of the road.
Yeah, you've done that so many times.
But it felt like so freeing. I feel like an animal in the wild.
Great. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I had some extra napkins in my car. And I was like, wow, honestly, gotta poop outside more.
Weirdly enough, like leaves and other things that are on the ground, they do a good job of cleaning because you can grab some of the dry ones and some of the wet ones. Like it's like having a little wet one, right? The white poop thing right there.
Nothing like it.
But yes, her story was fantastic. She made the right choice. There's no reason to run and potentially pee your pants.
No,
because that is way harder to cover up than walking down with a cup.
Yeah.
What I'd like to know is what were the conversations she had with those coworkers?
And did anyone look at the pee and know that it?
Yeah, did anybody call you out on it?
Yeah.
But if you're hydrated, it doesn't smell as much like pee. Like it's not like she binged on some asparagus right before.
Yeah, right.
Which I'm actually recommending. I'd like you to do that and then call back in.
Yeah.
Let's see how far. Yeah. Let's see how far you can take this thing.
Yeah. All right. Let's do another secret. What do you think?
Of course.
Hey guys, Tess from Australia here. So glad to hear the podcast is coming back. Big fans. A big fan. So in terms of the weird story, I did once date someone for a very short period of time. Not that was because of this, but just as a side note, who was interested in a very specific subgenre of porn where women were wrapped in cling wrap. I really hope cling wrap is the same thing in the US as it is in Australia. But yes, so he fantasized about it. He liked to watch it, and I can say, at least on a couple occasions, I did let him wrap me to a pole, like a beam inside the house. And as a large girl, I can't say that it was, it didn't get my motor going. But hey, I was glad that he got some pleasure out of it.
Oh my God. That's my first time hearing of such a thing.
Tess, thank you for calling and listening from all the way in Australia.
Yes,
I still want to go to Australia. I'm very let's hear your Australian accent. Can't wait for this impression.
Hello, I'm from Australia, where I pet kangaroos and pet koalas.
I do want to go pet a kangaroo and a koala.
I know.
Let's go back to Tess. One, great use of cling wrap. Yes, we know what that is. So that's excellent.
We do.
We speak Australian, so
yes, we do speak Australian.
The translation holds up. I love that story. You're a great team player. I applaud you for that.
Yeah.
It might have not, like you said, it wasn't your thing, but you know what? Way to step in there.
Way to take one for the team. And so the thing is, he wraps you to the pole, and then I'm guessing then has to poke holes in you for your holes, or nothing's just totally covered, right? And then it's then what happens? So he cling wraps you to the pole, and then he's like, all right, see you later.
That stuff is interesting because it's very much a control play.
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
I wonder if how that comes, it's one of those things where it's does someone how do you get a kink like that, or certain fetishes? It's you see a video of it, or you see it on porn and you're gotta try this.
Maybe when you go through puberty, you're in the kitchen trying to take care of the leftovers and you pop a little boner.
Or there's it's where do you get the inspiration?
Maybe those people might just be very in touch with themselves.
Do you maybe we have cling wrap?
I'm good.
You know what we could do? I could cling wrap you to a pole and then peg you.
How would you do that if I'm on a pole?
Yeah. I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
It's a lot of logistics.
But that was an absolutely amazing story. And that's a first. I haven't heard of cling wrap. But I respect the hell out of you. That's a team player right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, my friends, again, if you want to submit a weird secret, want to tell us a weird story, feel free to call us at speakpipe.com/weird and proud pod, or you can also email us weirdandproudpod@gmail.com. Obviously, just let us, give us an anonymous name or whatever. If you don't want to have your name, totally fine. But I think that about does it for our first episode. I feel like we covered a lot.
This one was dirty.
This one got dirty.
We promise some will be more family friendly.
No.
And we'll have
we don't.
We don't?
No.
We don't. Apparently not.
Why would we be family
Scratch
friendly?
that.
For kids? You want kids to be listening to this?
Not this.
Not this. When have we ever had a family friendly episode?
I think people should go back and listen and find one.
I don't think so. I wouldn't. I mean, for at least like a 13, maybe like 13 years old is the cutoff. Under 13, probably not. But if they're 13, it's about time they start learning about pegging and cling wrap.
This content isn't good for even some 30-year-olds. There's some people not emotionally ready for this.
That's true. That's very true. But thank you guys so much for tuning in for the first episode back for season 2. Again, every Monday morning, we will have a new episode available for you on either as a podcast on Apple and Spotify or on YouTube, which we would love if you would go and subscribe, watch the videos on there, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you call in with your weird secrets. And what? What was that?
I'm trying to do an applause.
Okay.
In the background.
Yeah.
We don't have one of those
So effective.
We don't have one of those fancy sound machines, so I'm just trying to give like a little applause.
Yeah.
You got to do impressions. I'm doing a sound machine impression.
I love it.
I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the crowd.
I love it, James. All right, guys, we love you so much. Thank you so much for supporting the Weird and Proud Pod, where just be weird. Like, being normal is so fucking lame for a bunch of losers. Being weird is so cool. Be weird. Let your freak flag fly. And have a great week. We love you so much. Anything, James?
Miss you guys.
Miss you
Thank
already.
you for calling in.
Love ya.